Determine the desired rail placement and snap a chalk line onto the mounting surface to ensure that all posts are aligned properly. Beneath all post locations, install at least two 2-inch by 8-inch blocks using at least three number 10 by 3.5-inch deck screws, penetrating through the joist at least 1.5 inches into the blocks. Screws are sold separately. Plumb and level the posts using leveling shims. Secure the posts in place with appropriate fasteners, also sold separately. Install base trims on each post. Remove level cable guide assembly from packaging. Lay assembly on the ground near the post it will be inserted in. Unspool each loop of cable fully so they are free of kinks. Allow the cables to lay flat and straight on the ground. Slide one end of the cable guide assembly into the post. The bracket will be at the top, and the bottom of the guide should bottom out on the post base. The cable will slide down the post through the open slot in the side of the post. Make sure the excess cable exits out of the top of the post. Ensure cables do not cross or tangle as the guide is inserted into the post. If they do, this is easily corrected before initial tensioning. While holding the cable guide, use a back and forth motion to stretch the cable and work guide towards your next post. Ensure an equal amount of excess cable remains on both ends of the guides. Be careful not to pull all the slack into one guide. If needed, you can redistribute the slack by loosening cables in the middle of the section and pulling excess in the direction needed. Slide cable guide into the channel of the second post, ensuring that the excess cable feeds up and out of the top of the post. Ensure that both sides of the cable panel are sitting all the way to the bottom of the post. Measure the distance between your posts, then subtract 1/4 inch. Cut the top beam to that length. Place the beam onto the brackets. The larger channel of the beam will face up, and the two grooves on the bottom will nest with the cable guide bracket. Feed the excess cable from each post into the tensioner mechanisms. Make sure the cable is rounding the last turn of the guide by looking down the post. Place locker mechanism into the channel of the top beam as close to the post as possible. Pre-tension cable both sides by pulling as much slack through the tensioners by hand. This step is crucial to attain proper finish tension. Pull hard. Wearing a glove may help while pre-tensioning. Ensure that the cable is centered in the cable guide while pulling the cable tight. Use an impact driver or power drill. Tighten the tensioners. Use a 9/16 socket to tighten the bolt at the end of the tensioner. Do this at each post until spring is no longer visible. Complete this step for all sections. Initial tensioning is now complete. To finalize tensioning, push down on top row of cable firmly. The spring near the first cable guide should be visible once again. Using your drill and 9/16 socket, tension the bolt until spring is no longer visible. Complete same procedure for other cable guide, but instead push on bottom row of cable and tension the bolt on the opposite side. Cut excess cable, leaving approximately 12 inches remaining from each guide. This excess will remain in the top beam channel. Mid-support baluster. Locate the center of your section. Place mid-support in center of the span. Mark 2 top and 2 bottom holes. Remove support and pre-drill with an 1/8 inch drill bit. Return support to center of span and attach with included screws. The 3/4 inch screws attach into the top beam and the 1.5 inch screws attach to the deck surface. Align the mid-support cover with mid-support and secure with flathead screws. Use attachment plug to insert in 1/2 of mid-support trim ring. Place both halves at bottom of support and push together. Cut the top rail to the same measurement as the previously cut top beam. Place the cut rail over the beam and snap into place using a rubber mallet if needed. Place appropriate end, line, or corner post cap onto the top of each post and press or tap into place with a rubber mallet if needed.